Marvelous viewers, you called for the trailer and HBO provided. They decided to drop the trailer for the highly anticipated Season 2 of House of the Dragon just a few hours ago, and the minute-and-a-half clip has reignited the hype for the upcoming Targaryen civil war. Kin will fight kin, dragons will fight dragons, justice locks horns with inheritance, but one thing is certain, the blood will flow. Rhaenys Targaryen notes that there is nothing the gods revile more than a war between kin, and it looks like Season 2 will show us the truth of those words in the most gut-wrenching way possible. But in amongst all the drama and intrigue, there is a lot more going on in this teaser, and if you didn't catch all of it, don't worry, we're here to break it all down. But before we get into it, if you want all the latest updates on House of the Dragon, then do consider subscribing to our channel and turning the notification bell to always like this video and share it with your fellow HOTD enthusiasts. We did a full coverage of Season 1 last year, and we will be doing the same for Season 2 next year, so spread the word. Marvelous Video is where you'll find all your detailed video analysis. Also, spoiler alert if you haven't read Fire and Blood, because we'll be referring to it in our breakdown of the trailer. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into this trailer. Mourning Luke's death, explaining Luke's death. The first shot of the trailer is Rhaenyra Targaryen standing on a rock looking to her ancient family seat of Dragonstone. Rhaenyra's face is covered in soot and she looks like she's just done crying. This makes sense considering her last scene in Season 1 showed her receiving and internally dealing with the news of Luke's death. While at a war council, Emma Darcy did an amazing job of expressing a mother's grief whilst displaying a queen's resolve in that final scene of Season 1, but her character is going to express the former a bit more elaborately in private, it appears. Which is just as well. The Black Queen has seen her lover die, her father die, and now her child dies as well. It would be far more concerning if we did not see her overtly expressing her grief, because what that implies is that Rhaenyra's heart now only burns with the cold flames of rage. A woman scorned is one thing, a pissed-off Targaryen dragon queen with multiple dragons at her disposal is quite another, as Season 8 of Game of Thrones was so quick to remind us. What's more interesting is the fact that this opening shot is accompanied by a voiceover of Otto Hightower, who claims that errors were made in the hours following King Viserys' death. Otto is clearly addressing a gathering with these words because his speech is completely formal here, but the question is, who is he talking to? It could be the new small council, rid of loyalists like Lyman Beesbury, whom we see getting beheaded by Sir Criston Cole in the trailer. Criston is also going to be appointed Lord Commander of the Kingsguard in Season 2, and he will be a key military player in the conflict to come. Otto could also be addressing the Great Hall of the Red Keep, as the Greens need to explain Lucerys' death at Aemon's hands in a way that doesn't vilify them. Kinslaying is a grievous sin in the Seven Kingdoms, and everyone on the Green side and beyond knows this. Vhagar's decapitation of Luke's dragon did not go unnoticed, and with a new king on the throne and another queen on Dragonstone, the realm will want answers. Looks like Otto is going to chalk it all up to an error, but we all have to see how many blind customers actually buy into this BS claim. Speaking of the Great Hall of the Red Keep, Aegon's first audience as a king. As Otto's voiceover plays out, the scene shifts to the Red Keep and we see King Aegon Targaryen make his way to the Iron Throne. In the books, Otto Hightower remains his grandson's hand for the initial half of his reign, so it makes sense to think he's justifying his other grandson and heir apparent's actions to their people. We get another shot of Aegon actually sitting the throne, and he sorts of pouts as something being said or being done in his court. In the books, Aegon ends up disagreeing with his grandfather's strategies pretty early into his reign, so this could be indicative of the first seed of dissension. It will be very interesting to see how Tom Glencarny plays the role of a reluctant king coming into his own tyranny, because, well, none of the Greens will come out looking good in this story. It will also be interesting to see Ewan Mitchell's reactions to the reception of his character's actions and ambitions, as that shot of Aemon staring at the Iron Throne isn't just editing magic. Blacks and Greens gear up. While the question of which brother will end up on the throne is one we will see answered late into Season 2 or maybe even in Season 3, war is inevitable, and we see both sides gearing up for it. On the Black side, we see Daemon storm out the chamber of the Painted Table with his helmet, most likely moving towards the objective he laid out in the last episode of Season 1, the Riverlands. We get a shot of the Black's war camp, nestled in some sort of valley, and we also see Daemon bringing his sword down on someone hard. We know from the books that he takes over the fortress of Harrenhal to use as his base, and Harrenhal has a massive godswood, just like the setting of that scene with Daemon. We also see a couple of shots of different Black War councils, with the camera focusing on Corlys, Rhaenyra, and Rhaenys. Additionally, Rhaenys is the one delivering the ominous narration we mentioned in the intro, talking about the cost of war between family and dragons. Lastly, we see a group of people walking with torches through what appears to be snow, which is to be a shot of Jace's mission to the north. We will likely also see his reaction to his brother's death early on in the series, and you can expect it to be similar to his mother's. Now, on the green side, we see the Hightower army and their allies readying themselves for war as well. In the books, the Greens are embattled on multiple fronts, and a purely battle-based victory is out of the question for them. They might have the numbers and the gold, but they simply lack the dragon power, and they are aware of that. Alicent knows that at the end of all of this, only the side that takes the throne will be acknowledged by history, which is why we see her sending messages and being super stressed out whenever we see her in the trailer. The Green Queen has a lot to look forward to this season, and none of it is going to bring her happiness. A girl called Nettles. One of the biggest teased plot points for Season 2 is the arrival of the Dragon Seeds, Targaryen bastards that are capable of flying dragons because they have the blood of the dragon in them. One of these Dragon Seeds is a mud-brown girl with mud-brown clothes called Nettles. Nettles is a base-born girl who herds sheep on Dragonstone and will use her skills as a shepherd to tame the wild dragon Sheep Stealer, who has mud-brown coloring just like her. We see Nettles very briefly in the trailer, only for a single shot, but we also see the dragon she will eventually ride, so we're counting on this as a win. Nettles is going to be very important to the character arc of more than one main character, so keep your eye on her. Blood and Cheese. Again, a very brief shot at the trailer, we finally see Blood and Cheese in action, one of the most anticipated duos in all of HOTD, and they're nothing more than base-born assassins. Talk about character hype, eh? It's blink and you'll miss it, but there is one point towards the end of the trailer where you see Queen Helaena Targaryen being held by a red-bearded man at knife point. You don't need it to tell you who that man could be at this point, you just need to guess which one he is. Is he blood or is he cheese? Our money's on the former. At another point in the trailer, we see Queen Alicent looking out over a lake in a white gown and looking rather wistful. Daemon Targaryen had promised blood for blood at the end of Season 1, and it looks like he's the kind of man who keeps his promises. Baela Targaryen in action. Yet again, a very brief shot in the trailer, but a powerful one as it cues in the theme song of the series. After Rhaenys gets done explaining the cost of war to her queen, the scene shifts to her granddaughter Baela, who is on a dragon back and screaming fiercely at someone. Baela is part of a very crucial dragon fight in the books, and we have to imagine that's what is happening in this brief moment. Remember that her dragon Moondancer wasn't classified as an attack-type dragon in Season 1, but its agility in disguise remains unmatched. It's just as well because Moondancer will be going up against King Aegon's golden monstrosity. That's right, Baela versus Aegon is a lock for Season 2. Sunfire versus Moondancer will be a true battle of contrasts, and we can't wait for you guys to see it. Cargy Bow. Clegane Bowl enthusiasts that did not get their wishes fulfilled the right way by Season 8, fear not, because it looks like House of the Dragon has got you. You might have noticed that King Aegon's closest confidant and personal bodyguard, Eric Cargy, was mysteriously missing from his first audience as king. This is because Eric is given a thankless job by his new king and council, the assassination of his brother. In the books, the Cargy twins engage in a fateful encounter that leaves both blacks and greens short a mean each, and considering we see a Kingsguard member fighting inside a bedchamber in the trailer, we can safely assume that this is a preview of the Cargy Bowl. Eric and Eric look so similar to each other that telling them apart is tough for even those who have even known them for decades, and you can bet your house on the fact that this will play into the twins' eventual fates. The Battle of Rooks Rest preview. At one point in the trailer, we see Aegon spinning the marble that is used to vote on decisions during the small council. This is just as well because it looks like as king, he is going to be calling the shots, and the first shot he calls will end up accosting both sides with fire and blood. While Otto Hightower would espouse caution and a more diplomatic, drawn-out approach to war, Aegon is aware of the fact that he needs to live up to his namesake, and he is brash enough to do so without any of the foresight of his namesake as well, which will result in one of the bloodiest bloodiest battles of the entire series. Rooks' Rest is a fortress owned by a house loyal to the Blacks. In fact, all the houses in the Crackclaw Point region owe their allegiance to Dragonstone directly. This is a problem for the Greens as it completely undermines their authority over their own territory. Crackclaw Point is a part of the larger Crownlands region, and Aegon is not exempt to using his dragons to assert his dominance. With Fury advisors like Kristen Cole and Aemon by his side, going on the offensive is not much of a choice for him. And because of his non-choice, all the battle sequences we see in the trailer unfold. The final shot in the trailer is of Vhagar taking flight, and we know that when she's in the sky, nothing good can come of it. But the result of Battle of Rooks' Rest is going to devastate viewers, and we will be here to break it all down. Marvel's verdict. But as for this video, we're afraid that's all we've got. House of the Dragon Season 2 is one of the most hyped up arrivals for 2024, and as this video might have shown you guys already, we get all the details analysis here on Marvelous Videos. Let us know what you thought of the trailer in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more HOTD content. We'll see you guys in the next one.